All right, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the Chippers Podcast Network's weekly series of NFL picks.
Yep.
We have
Thank you.
Riley and Brenden, along with me, your host, Kirby Stansel. So, I don't know. We'll just go ahead and jump in. We're doing NFL pick'ems.
So you're the weekly host?
I guess so. I mean, who's the person who set this all up?
Okay, well that works. It's the Chippers Network.
Yep,
What is this?
it
Oh,
is the Shippers Network.
Yep. Okay. Well, we can go ahead and jump right in if you're cool with that. I pulled the spreads right off of the ESPN app. So
Okay, I have. What did you? So we'll just go ahead and do it in like chronological order from Thursday to Monday. So like
Yep.
so our first game would be Kansas City, Houston. What was your spread on that?
I had that listed as Chiefs favored by 9.
Okay, yeah, same here. So what, Brendan? You're probably the one who has like the most quick fire reactions. So go
I
ahead.
think the Chiefs are going to win, but I think the Texans will cover.
Okay.
So I'll take the Texans -9, but Chiefs straight up.
Okay. So Houston, what about you, Riley?
I have the Chiefs winning and covering.
Okay. Do you guys have any reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I think early on the season you got the Chiefs, having their Super Bowl party kind of that first week. I know they're kind of coming out a little cold, but it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes in an offense that is featuring a new running back, a new and improved offense possibly. And then I just don't know if the Texans really have enough firepower. And we saw that their defense was kind of got hosed in the playoffs. So I'm sure
So
not much is improved.
I'm doing the opposite of you with respect to the opening Super Bowl. I feel like every single team that wins the Super Bowl comes out slow,
That's what I'm saying.
and even I guess like they won't have like the fans to really crush them, but I still think that Houston's going to do a pretty solid job. I mean, what, they were up 24-3 last season in the playoffs
Yep.
against the Chiefs. So, I mean, I think Houston's obviously going. I think they're
Deshaun just got paid too, so I don't think it's going to be a snooze fest and the Chiefs are just going to kill him. I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Chiefs will win. But I don't think people are really giving the Texans offense any credit, and I think David Johnson's going to be pretty good.
what? No.
I think David Johnson will be all right with Deshaun Watson, and then who they got? Randall Cobb, Brandon Cooks,
Randall Cobb,
Will Fuller. I mean, he's due for. He always has a big game early in the season.
he's matter of
Thursday
health.
night football, first game of the season. No fans in Arrowhead.
Yeah, the no fans in Arrowhead, just the no fans in general. That's going to be like a big.
I thought Kansas City was doing 20% capacity.
Um, I mean,
Let
still,
me-
that's not going to be very loud. I don't think it's going to. I don't think the crowds are going to play any impact whatsoever unless. I mean, it would only be like in Iowa football where they all point up to the kids.
They're at 22% fan capacity.
Eh, I don't know.
So,
So,
what's your pick?
I have Houston +9 and a win. I just think it's
Texans are going to go on the road and win?
And cover.
yep, on the road dogs. So, and then the next game I have listed here is Green Bay at Minnesota. Minnesota is home favorite, -2.5.
That's what I got.
Okay, so what do you guys think?
It's in Minnesota. It's tough, but we're not going to really have an idea what we're going to be seeing from that Minnesota offense that Diggs. I know he's been hit or miss a lot of the time, but I'm going out and saying the Packers are going to win and cover. Well, I mean, I guess they're going to cover if they win. So, yeah, it's tough to bet against Aaron Rodgers, especially early on in the season. I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers against that defense than
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins
Yeah,
against anyone.
And did you see Danielle Hunter? He's out for the first 3 games.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know they just got Yannick Ngakoue, but I feel like
Is he-
that was just a
they
week
done
ago,
a
so
week
he's
ago?
not going to have enough time to really get himself acquainted with the defense.
Yeah, I can't see him playing 3 downs. I see him kind of as a 2 down end, at least this week, without a lot of the understanding the playbook and all that.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play the season with the chip on his shoulder, and I don't think that the Vikings are going to beat him at all.
I mean, I
Especially
don't,
without fans. I feel like the M&T Bank or whatever it's called now, Bank of America.
US Bank Stadium.
Yeah, it's not gonna. I think that plays a big role for the Vikings. So I don't really think that they're going to be able to beat Aaron Rodgers and who they get Claypool now, and then
They have Justin Jefferson.
no Green Bay. He's got Claypool.
Claypool's on the Steelers.
Adams.
Claypool's on the Steelers, but
Oh shit!
yeah,
I
they
I
didn't
had him.
draft
I had them picking him, so that's why I thought that.
Okay.
But no,
They didn't draft anybody.
Devontae Adams, and then I don't know, but I think they're gonna beat him.
Who's
I
the top?
mean, I see the loss of Diggs as a big problem for Minnesota because they've got to figure out a way to make up for him like not being there. It's probably going to come in Herb Smith at the early part of the season, like even just with tight ends. But I don't really know. Like you have old BC Johnson and Justin Jefferson. Those 2 guys are still really young, and they probably haven't developed any chemistry with Kirk Cousins. I think this is kind of a weird line from Vegas, to be honest. Like it's Green Bay. I don't get it.
Dalvin Cook's also was sat out for a good bit of the camp.
And according to reports, Justin Jefferson's kind of had a weak kind of camp. So there's a lot of
I don't think he'll be
uncertainty.
good at all. Justin Jefferson.
You just said that because the Eagles didn't pick him.
Yeah.
Well, after thinking about it, I don't think he's going to be that great.
But it was just like the
That
uncertainty of Aaron Rodgers.
They suck at drafting wide receivers early.
yeah.
Juan.
Like I said, weird line by Vegas to start off the season with Green Bay not being favored against like not a super dominant team.
So I'm assuming you
We-
took the Packers win then.
Yep, I'm taking the Packers plus 2.5 and the win. So I feel like we're all in agreement there. No real need for that. Next, Chicago is facing, or they're traveling to Detroit. Detroit is favored -3.
Well, I got
So big push potential there with 2 possible low-scoring teams.
all right, you open us up with your prediction this time, Kirby.
Okay, so I think Detroit's gonna easily take this -3 and a win. Well, obviously to win. I mean, it's just
It's just a matter of time till Nick Foles takes over as quarterback.
yeah. The Bears are starting off Mitch Trubisky.
Apparently, he has a great camp, so we'll see
Yeah,
what it turns into.
he has a great camp every single season, which is so weird that they like have that kind of. They always have that storyline every single season, and then Detroit. I mean, Swift is going to. He's like questionable already, but they
I
still
mean,
have
they got
like,
him,
insane amount of
on the
weapons.
and Pearson now, so
Yeah, they have an insane amount of weapons.
I'm saying like
Galladay,
Swift-
Marvin Jones.
Swift is listed. I know it doesn't really matter too much, but he's listed as like the RB3 or 4 on that team in the early depth chart. So I
Yeah,
don't think it's that big of a factor. I mean, he was hurt for a lot of the camp, but personally, I have the Bears winning this one. I got Mitch Trubisky leading this team. It's not,
And it's Matthew Stafford's first game back, and
It's been, yeah, I was going to get to that. He was out for what, most of the season, half the season last year. It's been about 18 months since
I
he's
don't
seen
know.
the field. It's
in games like that, I like to look at the quarterback and who's at home.
yeah, but I mean, you can't really look at the home. It's kind of a neutral site.
The
this
Bears'
year.
defense is kind of
The
scary, but
Bears defense.
I just
big
can't
point
see
was
the Bears putting up points. Who's he gonna? Allen Robinson's good, but that's about it. And Cole Kmet, we'll see where he's at, but
I think
Anthony
they,
Miller.
I think they can manage to score like 20, 23 points. And that'll be plenty to beat the Lions, in my opinion.
Can they even put up 20 to 23 points?
I don't know. I mean, like,
Their
I just feel
offense
like Mitchell Trubisky is going to be playing looking over his shoulder all season. He was bad enough as it was when he had no pressure. Now I can't see him really doing well looking over with a Super Bowl MVP.
Do they have a new offensive coordinator, or is it still the same? I think Nagy's more of an offensive-minded coach anyway.
Darren Bevel's
Did they even hire? I don't know if they
think
hired
is,
an offensive coordinator. I think
is the Lions. I think. I don't know if he's still.
I mean, if they're not changing the offense, like what's going to change from last season? Because they mostly have the same supporting cast.
Bill Lazor.
I know nothing about that guy, so.
We all know that the coach is calling the shots. What's his Nagy?
No, I thought you meant Lions. Yeah, Matt Nagy. Whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like you're really set on Chicago. It seems like you're going with your heart and not your head there.
No, it's heart and head. I'm going to bet on that defense and Matthew Stafford not really seeing a whole lot of action in the past, year and a half. Right, who did you have?
The Lions. I think they're going to win and cover. I don't think they're going to blow them out, but I think they'll cover for sure. Like win by 6 or 7, maybe 10.
Okay, so now we are having our first case of home dogs. It is Jacksonville plus 7.5 against the Indianapolis Colts.
I had that at -8, but we can do 7.5.
The spread's mostly the same, to be honest. I don't think that's going to really impact.
All right, I'll start this time.
Okay.
I think the Colts are going to kill him.
Yeah, same here.
Yep, there's not really too much to talk about. I think
I think we can.
Jaguars are going to have the number 1 pick this year, and I think they're one of the worst teams potentially ever.
I wouldn't go that far. I think that
they're not that bad, but
they have DJ Chark on offense, and that's literally it. They have who on defense?
Josh Allen,
Miles Jack,
and they're looking at team.
I mean,
but he's still going to be playing.
Yeah, yes, but I like Miles Jack, and then they got who Javon Clayson or whatever the fuck his name is.
They've got some talent in a lot of places, but obviously they're just not a great team.
He hasn't even played a game yet.
I got the Colts winning and covering by a pretty decent margin.
Yeah.
It's not really a whole lot to talk about.
There is some upset potential, but I feel like that's just grasping at straws, to be honest.
Who was their first pick this year? I forget.
Who? Colts?
The Jaguars.
Jason,
the LSU end.
Yeah.
They didn't have a earlier first round pick? Because that was the Rams pick for Jason. They had like a top 5 pick.
Was it? They picked the cornerback from Florida, CJ Henderson.
Oh, yeah. Horrible pick.
Yeah. All right. Let's just go ahead and move on to the next one. So another home dog. It is Carolina plus 3 against the traveling and new Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, I can go ahead and start with that one. I think it's going to be the Raiders, and I don't particularly think it's going to be that close. I'm thinking like a 13-point game in favor of the Raiders. We kind of get a new-look Panthers with Teddy Bridgewater, and we're not really 100% sure what we're going to get with that. Kind of got that noodle arm, Teddy Bridgewater, so I'm not sure that they'll be able to spread the field enough to kind of beat up on them too much. I got the Raiders pretty easily.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like Teddy Bridgewater-led Panthers. I haven't even looked at this yet, so I'm still kind of making a decision. But I don't like DJ Moore. I like Christian McCaffrey, but that's about it. They lost Luke Kuechly. Has it been a year or 2 years since Luke Kuechly retired?
This year. He retired this offseason.
All right, so they lost Luke Kuechly. I mean, who do they have? Kawan Short?
Yep.
Juan Short, Shaq Thompson, Brian Burns.
Shaq Thompson is
he's just an athletic. He's
Brian Burns had some big plays last year, but rookie year, and he kind of was in the right place in the right time in a lot of them.
They're a young, budding defense.
I don't know. I mean, like,
They have some decent
I
young
just
DBs.
think John Gruden, people don't really give him credit. They think he's kind of, it's like a meme that he's on the team or whatever. But I think 30-year John Gruden's probably got the team kind of good. So I'm going to take the Raiders.
All right. Well, I'm going the opposite on this, and
I mean,
I think
Bridgewater covered for the Saints too. I mean, but the Saints are really good. But still, like, he lost what, one game? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be as bad as we're thinking he's going to be, but I don't think he really has.
Well, here I'm going to give you the reason why he's going to succeed in Carolina and why that offense is going to be. You already know where I'm going, Riley, don't you?
LSU guys.
Joe Brady. That is why they're going to be a successful team.
It's really hard to be a good coach.
Successful this season.
Watson and Trevor Lawrence back to back. It's hard to run a.
Okay, well, it's tough to tell guys during a pandemic that you don't want to play and that you're going to go out and lose because they have a tremendous coaching staff around there with Matt Rule, Joe Brady, and I can't remember the defensive coordinator. But like they're probably going to surprise some people, and I think Las Vegas traveling so far amongst coronavirus stuff, like that's going to play an impact. I think that this is just clearly it's kind of a sucker for you guys for Las Vegas -3. I think it's Carolina. Easy.
Not that I think that Las Vegas is good or they're gonna blow them out, but it's more. I mean, it's just a bunch of new pieces in place, and I feel like John Gruden kind of has a grasp of his team at this point.
Yeah, and you mentioned something along the lines of like those coaches being great. I mean, yeah, they're great college
John
coaches.
Gruden is one of the best NFL coaches.
Joe Brady coached in the NFL. Like it's not like he's not, and he coached like straight up offense. He hated recruiting. He ran that team like a professional team, or he ran the offense like a professional offense. So you get an established quarterback with great pieces around him, and DJ Moore, who's going to be able to cut under Robbie Anderson.
Great.
And
Robbie Anderson was a good jet. We'll see how he goes anywhere else.
He's a solid wide receiver too. But what I was getting at, it was like, it's easy to call them great, but we haven't really seen them, recently, and what kind of success they're going to be having here in Carolina. I think
I'd say he's decent. He went for 1,000 yards, but he's their number one target.
I'm talking about like the coaching staff.
Oh yeah, I mean, until they prove otherwise, I'm not going to pick against John.
I think they're great hires. That's what I should have said. But still,
verdict's still out. But honestly, like college coaches, you could hire anybody who's winning.
How did Chip Kelly do his first game?
I mean, he killed the Redskins.
Exactly.
Exactly. That was Chip Kelly, and it was a revolutionary offense. I wouldn't say Matt Rule's bringing anything.
Well, Matt Rule's more of a player's coach. He's kind of there for a fundamental standpoint. They're not far off from Ron Rivera, really, in terms of like coaching style. I don't know. We've kind of like beaten this one into the ground. So let's just go ahead and move on, and I'll take this one to start. It is the New York Jets traveling to Bill Stadium to play the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's favored by 6.5. This is so easy. Bills minus 6.5. I feel like I don't even need to rest my case.
Yeah. Who did the Jets pick up in the draft again? I'm trying to even remember, like in the first round. I know they got Mims as a receiver, but I'm trying to remember who they got with their first pick. Was it an offensive lineman? I want to say it was.
Did they pick up Mekhi Becton?
Maybe, or him or Tampa Bay did, but either way, it's
it was Mekhi Becton. And they didn't have another second round pick until Mims, so they haven't. Let me see their free agent signings. I mean, obviously with Buffalo, you have Stephon Diggs entering the fold, and they haven't really lost much talent on the offensive line. I'm going purely off of their offense. And then also Tremaine Edmonds is going to continue their, like, he's gonna anchor that defense there along with Jerry Hughes. Like, oh, and then Tre'Davious White just signed a new contract as well. They have Micah Hyde. This team is so good, and I think like 6.5 is
Yeah, yeah.
really easy to take.
I think the Bills are definitely going to win this one pretty handily. No.
Really?
No.
Shit that it came on?
No. Well, I mean, no, because it would probably catch on fire. But just go.
Just put it in.
Make it,
Put it on there.
just put the pizza in there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I really don't think there's going to be much of a challenge. I think this Bills defense is going to carry them to a pretty good record this year.
In their offense.
I think their defense
In
will
their
for sure. Their defense will for sure. It's a lot left to kind of see from what's his name, Josh Allen.
Do you steal what's his name on Josh Allen?
And I think that the Jets offense run by Adam Gase is just going to be horrible again. It's what you get when you kind of come with Gase. I know Bell's had a horrible camp apparently. It's probably going to be a slaughter, honestly. I don't think it's going to be close. Probably.
Who gets fired first? What? Adam Gase or who's coaching Jacksonville? Doug Marrone.
Dan Quinn.
No, Doug Marrone or Adam Gase. Who gets fired first?
I think
Adam Gase. There's more media presence.
I don't think either of them make it past week 6, if that means anything.
People understand that Jacksonville's tanking, but I don't think they think that of the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets ownership is a lot more volatile.
But the thing about Adam Gase, every player, Le'Veon Bell, Jamal Adams, I'm sure there's been others, but their 2 stars have came out and said how horrible he is and how much they hate him. And he's even said, oh, we don't even like these guys. So you can't say that about players on your roster and expect to keep your job. Especially your stars, the guys that you pay all that money to.
Especially if Darnold doesn't show any promise or like improvement over this offseason.
He probably won't. But
yeah, I think the Bills will kill him. So if you're ready to go into the next one.
The next one is going to be Seattle -2 going on the road against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
Brenden, you go ahead and take this.
I'm the biased one.
We're down to the room.
In Seattle.
It's in Atlanta.
No, it's in Atlanta.
I hate to say this, but every time the Seahawks come to Atlanta, at least that I could think of, the Falcons win. They just added Todd Gurley. That's gonna light a fire under their ass,
That's gonna light a fire.
Atlanta fans love it. He's gonna play his heart out first game. And I think the Falcons win, and I think it's gonna be by like 10 at least. Unfortunately, I don't want the Falcons to win. I don't really care because
you said you were the unbiased one, but okay.
Clearly a Falcons fan. I'm going to go the opposite way. I think the Seahawks are going to handedly win this game by like 10 points, 10-13. I don't trust the Dirk Cutter offense. I don't really trust some of these additions we've made. There's a lot of question marks on the defensive end for the Falcons in terms of who is going to be a reliable cornerback on this team. What's the situation on Keanu Neal? I know Dante Fowler hurt his ankle in practice. We don't know what % he's going to be at.
I haven't even seen that.
And then obviously the Seahawks just added Jamal Adams, so we're not sure how much run he's going to get, but he's definitely one of the best.
If it were to be
best run stopper as a safety
in like
position.
a shootout kind of game, though, I think the Falcons are more prepared. And I don't think you're going to slow down the Falcons' offense that much. So you got to win them. You got to put up like 30 points to beat them. And I don't think the Seahawks are capable of putting up that many points.
The Dirk Cutter offense isn't very promising or very.
You got
good.
Julio, Calvin, Hayden Hurst, Matt Ryan.
Okay. We can talk everybody knows what our weapons are. It's not. I really just don't trust this defense, and I don't trust Dan Quinn, and I don't trust Dirk Cutter. I don't trust the entire coaching staff because they've proven themselves to be a load of hot shit ever since they lost in the Super Bowl. I'm taking Seattle plus or -2. Like that, it's so alluring to say like, oh yeah, the Falcons are gonna like Falcons are +2. That sounds like a great thing. It's just to pick them, they'll win. But no, it's not. It's not gonna happen. The Falcons are gonna lose week 1, and it will continue the trend of a downward spiral, and Dan Quinn will be out of a job.
I think Dan Quinn would be the first one to get fired out of those three. I think you guys have the most potential. If you guys start off 1-3, he's gone.
No, I think Arthur Blank is not the kind of owner that would fire someone. I mean, we started 1-5, 1-6 last year. And
Yeah, well, he gave him one more chance if he starts off 1-3 or something.
The script's already been written where we start off poorly and then finish extremely strong.
Yeah, whenever you're already out of the playoff.
Yep.
I mean, you got Tampa Bay and you got New Orleans. You lose 3 games, you could win out and you might not even.
Yep. Let's go ahead and move on. We hate Atlanta, except for Brenden. So actually, this is moving on to Brendan's team. It is the Eagles going on the road, favored against the Redskins. Eagles -6.
Eagles versus Washington.
Oh no! All right, I'm gonna have to bleep that out in the next whenever I'm editing this. Oh God! All right, well, I apologize for saying the R word. Whenever I upload this to YouTube, I apologize. All right, Eagles versus the Washington football team.
Yep.
So, what do you think, Riley? I'm mentally.
I don't think it's gonna be too close. I think a 10-point game for the Eagles is gonna be pretty standard here. There's some question marks about the receiving core, but at the same time, I don't think I can name a single Washington DB.
Josh Norman, is he still?
They got that one guy back, Kendall Fuller.
Yep. Other than that, they let go of Norman. I don't even know if Norman got picked up anywhere, did he?
I think like the Bills or something.
I know they added Chase Young, and I think he's gonna be a dominant force in this league for years to come. There's just so many question marks on that Redskins team that it's just gonna be difficult for them to overcome it. We haven't even seen what Dwayne Haskins can really do. I don't really trust it. So yeah, I got Eagles covering.
Brenden, do you have Eagles covering?
I think they're going to come out kind of slow, like they always do. But I think we'll start putting up a touchdown every play or every drive in the second half pretty much. So I think we might get down early, and we're going to get a little cause of concern. But I think we will win. And Deshaun Jackson will go and score a touchdown or two. For sure. I mean,
all right. So if you were to do a prop bet, you'd say Deshaun Jackson.
I would say Deshaun has it. I'm not going to say 50, but I'll say at least a 40-yard touchdown. At least one.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going Redskins +6. This is a new era. This is kind of like similar to Riley's Chicago pick. It's a new era in Washington. Did I say the R words again?
I don't think so. I think you're fine. Just keep going.
Yeah, gosh. Okay. All right, but anyways, I'm picking Washington to win. This is a great story.
Win?
What? Yeah,
to win.
+6 and to win. Yeah. I think that like they're gonna come out very strong and just really, really lay the hammer down on Philadelphia because like Philadelphia, the Eagles aren't really that good, to be honest with you. So
how they've made the playoffs the last 3 years. You're just trying to get under my skin. Let's be honest. You don't think the Eagles are good, but you think the Washington football team.
I think the Eagles
is good. They're horrible.
The Eagles are a solid
wood,
9-7, 10-6 kind of team.
Yeah, easily, if not better. Carson Wentz has had his best game. But not only that, okay, Deshaun, healthy. Goddard going into his prime. Ertz is in his prime.
Ertz is
Offensive
actually
line, okay, our worst offensive lineman is Matt Pryor, who whenever he came in,
what?
did pretty
You're
good.
throwing out names like Matt Pryor, and I just don't buy it.
Not decimated. We got left tackle Jason Peters, Hall of Famer. Isaac Sayamalu, who's a lot better than people give him
All
credit
right,
for.
all right.
Matt Pryor,
Moving on. We're moving on. We're
Lane
moving on.
Hall of Famer. 3 Hall of Famers on that offensive line. 4 if Brandon Brooks was healthy.
Okay, Miami Dolphins traveling to New England up north. Patriots favored by 6.5. What do you guys got?
I'll take Patriots to win, but I think Miami will cover.
Okay. Any reasoning behind that?
Ryan Fitzpatrick starts out super hot. So if they win, I wouldn't even be surprised. And, the Patriots don't really play Miami that well. They typically drop a game
I thought
a year to the –
I thought it's always in Miami, though.
I guess, but it's –
Yeah, it's always in Miami.
Ryan Fitzpatrick beat the Saints and the Eagles in back-to-back weeks, or it might have been within 2 weeks or 2 out of 3 weeks. He beat the Patriots and Eagles, or the Saints and Eagles whenever he's in Tampa Bay. He always comes out of the gate hot.
Yeah, I have the same prediction. I have the Pats winning, but the Dolphins covering. I think it's
this wheel is going to continue of the Ryan Fitzpatrick trade.
I think there's just a lot of question marks with the Patriots. What are we going to see when we see a Cam Newton and Bill Belichick kind of offense? It's going to be different. It's going to be weird, but it's going to be fun at the same time. I have the Patriots kind of sitting at like a 10-6 kind of team. I mean, we look at that offense, but we forget that defense is actually going to be really, really good. I know they had a few players opt out of the season, but I still think they're still going to be really dominant, I think.
They had like half their defense opt out. I'm going Pats -6. Mostly just because of I think there's really no tape to draw from like how Bill Belichick will handle Cam Newton. It's like a new little toy that he has, and this offense is going to look completely different than what Brian Flores has seen because he literally coached with Belichick for years. So, and then, I mean, yeah, Cam is like the only toy that he has really.
I think N'Keal Harry is going to be a lot better than people are expecting.
I would hope. I would hope because they spent a first-round pick on him.
I think Harry's, according to the reports coming out of camp, he was having a lot of issues with separation. So we know Cam Newton's not the most accurate guy. So if he's looking for pocket passes and passes in tight areas, it's going to be kind of tough for him.
I think back committee will really help him too, like a Sony Michel kind of.
Damian Harris just went on the IR, right?
Yep. So they have like a four-person rotation of Burkhead, White, Michelle, and then this practice squad signing named J.J. Taylor, which I don't really know why he's relevant, but I don't know. I think the defense is going to be like okay. I don't think it's going to be as bad because you're essentially just cutting the fat. Like there were a lot of aging players on that Pats defense. I think they're going to get everything a lot more righted there. I'm not sure who their defensive coordinator is, but I mean,
I just think Flores is like a pretty good coach, and I think they exceeded expectations towards the end of the season last year in Miami.
They did.
So
I think he is too. Yeah. I mean,
suck. I mean, I don't think they're going to be good, but I think they're going to be better whenever Tua comes in.
I think 6 to 8 wins is kind of where I have the Dolphins sitting at, and
I'd
next
say,
year is kind of when they're going to take that next step.
I mean, I don't know if they'll ever take the next step. We'll just see how Tua plans out, but I think they're going to. I don't really know why, but start Ryan Fitzpatrick. I would just throw Tua out to the Wolves at first, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I like start him against the Jets whenever the Jets are broken and beaten down.
I would start Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
I don't understand that logic because I mean, what is he? 38 years old, and then Carson Wentz started the first game against the Browns and he killed the Browns. And I felt like Carson Wentz had a pretty upside rookie year, and then he should have been MVP his second year.
Well, you just don't want to trot out your
Goff. I mean, he sucked his first year, but then his second year they made the playoffs, lost to Atlanta. But then his third year, he was a runner-up for MVP.
he's going to start games this season. They're not really focused on winning right now. They're focused on developing, and how they do that is get to a more practice time because they still haven't had like a ton of practice. And you're gonna wait and pull the trigger on Ryan Fitzpatrick whenever you can. Like it could be 3 games in the season, it could be 7 or 8. So I don't really see a point in rushing Tua right now.
I mean, especially in recent times. I mean, you look at the quarterbacks.
I mean, you look at Deshaun, how he came out of the gate, and then you look at Lamar, how they came out of the gate. They started after like 4 games. I don't really think those 4 games make a difference.
No, because Lamar sat out a year, didn't he?
I think he sat out like a few games.
Lamar sat out like 8 games.
Yeah. Deshaun came in like after 3 games or something, and then
Mahomes waited a whole year.
Okay, Mahomes isn't accepting. They had Alex Smith, who,
like I said, you wait until like the Jets game or like a worse team, and you just wait. You don't trot out your rookie quarterback against Bill Belichick, especially a team that like Bill Belichick talks with Saban constantly. So you don't do that. That's not smart.
Young, injury-prone quarterback. There's really no advantage to starting him against a really good defense to kind of ruin his confidence for the rest of the season.
Yeah. All right. Well, we really beat the Tua argument into that. Next game, Cleveland at Baltimore. Baltimore favored by 8 points at home.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
Is it just me or is Brenden really talking over everyone?
Yeah. Did he have too much to drink?
Yeah, like he's only had a cup and a half, maybe 2, but
I think
they're big cups.
Once we got to the Eagles, then he really just snapped. I think we like turned a switch on in his brain.
He doesn't really leave a whole lot of room for anyone else to talk.
No. But anyways, yeah. Do you want me to start or you start?
Go ahead, start.
Okay. I mean, I think I'll take Baltimore -8 here. They're just gonna the Browns are. I haven't really heard much of anything out in camp from the Browns. I don't really like what they have to offer. Lamar's going the whole Ravens offense. The whole Ravens team is just going to be on a murdering spree after being let down in the playoffs so early last season. They've just had like a whole 6 months to stew and keep on training. And they're just going to be like super pissed off. They're installing like a whole new discipline. They kicked off Earl Thomas. I think that was probably a good move. I just like the whole vibe of the team. They're probably going to be the team that goes like 14-2. The addition of Dobbins is going to be great. That's going to add a whole new layer to the offense. I mean, I just don't know what Cleveland has to offer.
Yeah, to start off, I don't know if I would say kicking off Earl Thomas. It was a good move off the field, but on the field it's going to hurt him, I think. Browns versus Ravens. But I have the Ravens winning, but Browns covering. I think it'll probably be like a 7-point game. But I think the Browns offense is going to be a lot better this year. They have Austin Hooper. They have a new offensive coordinator and head coach. I think we can all kind of agree that their previous one wasn't very good at all.
Yeah. Nope.
I think this will be a little bit more low scoring than most people are expecting, just because early in the season, I think Lamar's going to do his thing, but he's going to be held down slightly. So I got this as just the Ravens winning by 7 points.
It could be a real ground and pound game with like the level of running backs that are there. You have Dobbins, Ingram, and then on the other side, Hunt and Chubb.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I actually heard out of camp was them extending Hunt
Yeah,
to the 2-year
that was
deal.
weird. I heard.
Essentially.
Yeah, so I guess they do like what they see out of Hunt, and if he can get a two-headed monster start there, it wouldn't be bad. What do you think, Brendan?
I think the Ravens are going to win.
They're favored by 8, so
I think they'll win by like 13.
So you got them winning and covering.
Yep.
okay. Anything
It's hard
else
to
to
pick
offer?
without like home field advantage too. It's like
It's
you
a
can't
very
ask where they at.
it's a very neutral site.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, it's hard to pick without home field advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Like whenever there's a Seahawks game, that's gonna throw betting lines into a loop because they won't really know what to think. All right, we'll just go ahead and hop to the next game. Los Angeles traveling to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's,
The Chargers.
yeah, the Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 3.5 on the road.
You said
I think this is Chargers. Wait. Ooh. I don't know.
You said
Somebody else wants to go.
the Chargers by 3.5.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers are going to win. I mean, like Tyrod Taylor sucks, but I don't have a lot of faith in Burrow right out of the gate for sure. I don't think he's going to be a top 15 quarterback ever in the league. So, I mean, I love Burrow. I thought he was great in college. I thought he was awesome, but he had a ton of weapons. I don't really – AJ Green, who knows how he's going to be. He hasn't played in 2 years. And then
AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins.
I don't like Tyler Boyd at all. T. Higgins is a rookie, and he was
Great at Clemson.
he was really good at Clemson, but there's a reason he fell and was the fifth or sixth wide receiver taken. I don't know. I mean, I don't think T. Higgins is going to have a 200-yard game or something right out of the gate. I think he could be good.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't expect him to.
Exactly. So, and then AJ Green hasn't played in 2 years, and I feel like he's probably a shell of his old self. They don't. Who's their tight end? They lost Tyler Eifert. Their O line. Can't even name a player. Jake Fisher, is he still on the team? I don't know. Their defense, is horrible.
I wouldn't say it's horrible. They have some talent.
Like who?
Some of their DBs are pretty good.
Yeah, I think they have. I think
The guy from Texas A&M.
I was really close to going Chargers 3.5, and then I remembered that Phillip Rivers isn't there, so I'm gonna go ahead and go Cincinnati plus 3.5. But actually, I'll do Chargers to win. I think Chargers are only gonna win by 3, because you remember last season how the Chargers would always come really close to winning and then not be able to. They're gonna change that with Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor is going to be okay. I think this is going to be a relatively low scoring game.
I don't like Tyrod Taylor at all, but he can win you a football game. And against the Bengals, I like his odds, especially they haven't gotten better aside from a rookie quarterback.
Brett, what do you think?
I've got the Bengals winning this one, and I think it'll be pretty close. I think the Bengals by 3 is a pretty solid kind of guess. I think it's gonna be kind of maybe not storybook, but it'll be like where Joe Burrow kind of makes a play there at the end of the game to kind of secure a victory. I think the Bengals are gonna be a lot better than people kind of give them credit for. I got them kind of as a 6-10 kind of team this year. 6-10, 8-8.
I wouldn't call that better than people are giving credit for.
I mean, I think most people think they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. I don't think that at all. I think they're actually going to be pretty solid. I think Joe Burrow is going to be a franchise cornerstone for that team. I think he's going to provide a lot that they didn't get last year. I think when you upgrade from Andy Dalton
I mean, Andy Dalton was a playoff quarterback every year.
Well, playoff quarterback. I mean,
I
he didn't win in the playoffs.
I think they went like 12-4 one year. Or like 11-5, something like that.
Yeah, how many playoff games they didn't win any?
They haven't in like 30 years.
And I think the addition of Tyrod Taylor is going to be kind of strange at first for the Chargers to kind of deal with. So I know their defense is really good, but I just think Joe Burrow is going to take the next step and just kind of help this Bengals team to a victory.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's easier to plug in like a Tyrone Taylor than a Joe Burrow.
Plus, you got Joe Mixon, who's actually a lot better than people give him credit for. Like
Austin Eckler is better than Joe Mixon.
I would know.
All right, we're just getting
Not
into
talent-wise, but production-wise, he's
guys. We're talking about two probable sub 8-win teams. So next game is going to be it's going to be with two teams that are actually playoff and Super Bowl contenders. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the new super team of the NFL, facing the New Orleans Saints. Saints are favored by 3.5 at home. This is a really interesting line because leaves a lot of room for interpretation with the field goal. You can think that this is going to be a close game. Personally, I think this is going to be Saints minus 3.5 and a win. I don't think things are going to start off well for Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. It's going to be a weird getting used to process, and I mean the Saints still have a great team around them. Alvin Kamara is not holding out anymore, and it's not like he's a quarterback that's holding out where that would severely affect the team. I just think the Saints are way too good. I'm not sure who the Tampa Bay defensive backs are. If I don't know them, they're probably not that great.
Evans and Hargraves, is he still over there?
Hargraves is on the Texans.
Yeah, Hargraves has been released.
I just have learned at this point to not bet against Tom Brady. And not only that, but if Mike Evans doesn't play, I might be a big factor, I think it would be a big factor. But, the Saints, they don't come out of the gate hot. They lost to the Buccaneers with Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2 years ago? And I don't know. I just don't. The Saints are one of those teams, like, they're great. Like, they're really talented. But in kind of games like first game of the season, playoff game, this and that, they kind of like to get behind early. And I don't think if you get behind early with Tom Brady, you're coming back from that. So I'm going to take the Bucs and give me the points. I take the Bucs winning straight up.
Okay, Brad?
Yeah. Personally, I think there's a lot of question marks that surround the Bucs. I know that goes for a lot of teams, but especially the Bucs. You have a new quarterback working with his first, or his second coach his entire career.
I mean, Bruce Arians is a great coach too, and a new quarterback.
Let Riley speak his piece.
Best quarterback of all time. That's it.
You gotta stop talking over people, Brenden.
Podcasting etiquette.
Either put it on the line or stop talking over people.
No.
But I think there's a lot of question marks, especially whenever you look at that offensive group. You look at the wide receivers. Mike Evans is potentially hurt for this first game. Look at the running back core. It's going to be – I think there's a lot of talent there, but it's still a lot of question marks surrounding there. And you look at the offensive line, which was okay last season, and I know they had a few additions, but there's still some question marks. I think you got to side with the more solid team that we kind of have a better track record with. So I have the Saints covering and winning by 3.5. I probably got them winning by like around 4 to 10 points. I think it's pretty safe for them.
Yeah, I think you can even be just a straight up blowout. Sean Payton is the better coach than Bruce Arians. Bruce. Why are you giving me that look, Brenden? Sean Payton is a better coach than Bruce Arians. I don't think that's a groundbreaking.
It's a lot better of a coach than you give him credit. Like, the Cardinals were not the best team or one of the better teams back in 2016, 15, whatever it was. They were not good. And then we haven't even mentioned Rob Gronkowski coming back. I don't think he's really going to miss a step.
Well, it's kind of tough to say. Like I said, question marks in every kind of group. You got Gronk, who's a question mark, and O.J. Howard, who's kind of been a non-factor this past few seasons. So I think there's a lot of question marks that surrounding it. And then their defense isn't anything special. So I definitely have the Saints winning this one.
Okay. This is the last afternoon game. A very unimpressive afternoon slate. It's just the Chargers, Bengals, Bucs, Saints, and then the last afternoon game is Arizona traveling to face San Francisco. I don't know. What do you guys What do you got, Brenden?
Me? I think the 49ers will win, but I think Arizona will cover. Division game. They played them tough the last game. I don't know how it went the first game, but I know the last game they played them pretty close. Kyler Murray has a year of development. Kenyon Drake, I don't think he's as good as he's given credit for. I think he's kind of overrated. But still, adding DeAndre Hopkins, I think Kyler Murray now is a weapon. Larry Fitzgerald is still, I know he's old, but he's still going to catch every ball thrown at him. So, and Christian Kirk. So I think Arizona will put up a fight, but I think the Niners will win in the end.
Yeah, I definitely have the Niners winning and covering. I think it's going to be kind of tough to see what the Niners. Are they going to have kind of a Super Bowl hangover? Or are they going to be more of super hungry? I think they're going to be a little bit more hungry than people kind of expect them to, especially in Week 1. I think that defense is going to kind of carry them this game. I think it's going to be low scoring, but I think that defense is going to bring them over the top. I think there's just way too much talent on that back end.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not really sold on Arizona just because they're like the one NFC team that's like, oh, pick your sleeper. And like a team that didn't do well last season that's really going to break out in the NFC, and it's Arizona. That's kind of how San Francisco was a couple of years ago, or even last year, really. Which actually, that doesn't really favor my case. But Kyler Murray, he's so here's my problem with Kyler Murray is that he's very small, and whenever he was at Oklahoma, his best attribute was that he had an amazing offensive line and did not get pressure, and he was able to just stand back in the pocket and deliver deep shots to his guys. He's not going to be able to do that still because his offensive line isn't amazing like it was at Oklahoma. And that's going to be the big detriment for his whole career, I think. I'm going to take San Francisco -7. That defensive line is going to wreck Arizona and Kyler Murray. All right, and then this is the nightcap to Sunday night. It is the Cowboys traveling to SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, take on the Rams. Cowboys are favored by 3. Riley.
Yeah, I've got the Cowboys winning and covering. I think it's going to be really close. I think the Cowboys make kind of a last-second play near the end to kind of cover it and win the game. I just think there's a lot of talent on that offense. Other than Dak Prescott, who I think is completely overrated. I think he's average to slightly below average as a QB. Yeah, I think they have a really, really talented wide receiver core and a really great running back, Ezekiel Elliott. It's just tough with the Rams because whenever you look at the Rams, you kind of get two sides of the coin. 2 seasons ago, their offense was amazing, but last season they were pretty horrible. There's a lot of question marks about their running back core, so I think it's pretty safe to say that the Cowboys are going to be winning and covering this one.
That the Jalen Ramsey contract extension that was announced today was so dumb. Because what is the point of signing a cornerback of that contract magnitude just for him? Like who else do they have around there aside from Aaron Donald? That they're just loading up with a ton of stars. But in separate position groups, it's not going to be good for them. That contract is not going to pan out. I doubt that Jalen Ramsey makes it past 3 years, and it's going to suck for Aaron Donald. It's gonna suck for that whole Rams franchise. It was just a bad move, and I'm taking Dallas -3 because somehow Dallas has made good off-season decisions, and the Rams just keep on making dumb moves. Go ahead, speak your piece, Brenden.
What great off-season decisions have they made? All right, they have Amari Cooper signed him to a $100 million deal. They have Michael Gallup.
They're locking up guys that are actually like.
You could have so many weapons, but you have to surround Dak Prescott with weapons. Sure, Travis Frederick's gone. CeeDee Lamb, kind of a wasted pick. They need a defense. They don't. Byron Jones is gone. Is
Yeah.
Jeff Heath still their number one safety? And then the Rams, they were battered with injuries to their offensive line, completely healthy now. Robert Woods still one of the best receivers. Cooper Kupp's one of the best receivers. Gerald Everett. And no, they are. They're great possession receivers, and they're exactly what you need. Josh Reynolds, and then they got Van Jefferson. He's their forward. That's a real – I mean, who knows how he's going to be.
You brought up Van Jefferson as a forward.
Okay, if Van Jefferson as the 4, it's not too bad of a deal, okay? And then Cam Akers, you know how he's going to be. Malcolm Brown's fine for that Rams offense. Jared Goff's a lot better than people give him credit for.
Brenden, I can look up the Rams roster if you want me to. If you want everybody to just look up the Rams roster, they can. But that's
go ahead. Go ahead. I don't really know.
No,
and Mike Brockers is one of the better defensive tackles in the NFL.
Brockers is like third. He's on the wrong side of 30.
So good.
Team,
Aaron Donald is the best player in the NFL. Jalen Ramsey is a top 15 player in the NFL. Joe Johnson's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL.
Joe Johnson is a retired basketball player. So, I mean, the Cowboys just keep on making they're signing guys that are in better position groups, more valuable position groups. You can look, I don't really care about losing Byron Jones because you can find a quality corner. That's like signing a quality running that's why what?
Chidobe Awuzie. That's about all they have. No, the Colorado.
I mean, I'm just saying they're making like a lot more impactful offseason moves, and they're signing actual playmakers and difference makers in the team. So
their biggest addition by subtraction is Jason Garrett.
Yes. Also that. I can't believe we didn't even mention that Jason Garrett isn't there anymore. And that offense is going to
be like what was Mike McCarthy? He had the best quarterback talent of all time, possibly. And he didn't do anything. One Super Bowl.
Underwhelming, but he still won a Super Bowl.
Hey, that's how Mike McCarthy walked into his first Super Bowl as well, because he won in like the first few years. So it could be the same way with Dallas.
Yep.
So you're taking the Rams, Brenden?
Yep.
+3 and a win. All right. The first half of the Monday Night Football games. This has Maria Taylor as the sideline reporter. Excited to see that.
Who?
Maria Taylor.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. I think it's going to be Chris Fowler and Herbstreit on the call as well. So it's going to be college football. Yeah.
Herbstreit's doing Monday Night Football now?
I think they're only doing this week. Steve Levy's the main anchor or the main play-by-play.
The best of the game.
Yeah. I'm surprised it took Steve Levy that long to get on to Monday Night Football. But anyways, it is the Steelers favored by 5.5 points against the New York Giants in MetLife Stadium. I'll just go ahead and start this off. I think this is an easy Steelers -5.5. I didn't really even have to think twice about it. Big Ben coming back. Did you guys see his documentary that he had about his recovery?
What about raping women?
Brenden. No, it was about his recovery. But yeah, it was a pretty powerful, like 20-minute series, and yeah, Big Ben's gonna be really good. I'm sold on it. So many weapons are out there. So many weapons.
No. I think the Steelers will win, but they're not going to cover. I think you look at Daniel Jones. This is the first big game. Whether or not we're going to see him take the next step, I think he's relatively solid, or he was solid for a rookie. I think he was underrated. I think he got a lot of bad flack from New York media. I don't think this Giants team is going to be anything special. Probably a 4-12, 5-11 kind of team. But this Steelers team isn't anything special either. I think it's just going to be a low-scoring game. Kind of a snoozer.
Wait, what do you not like about the Pittsburgh offense?
I mean, we haven't really seen Big Ben in a long time. It's kind of tough. I know you have Juju, you have James Conner, but it's at the same time, it's just like none of those. I mean, Juju's pretty exciting, but James Conner, he's just solid. He's not like he's anything special. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a low scoring game.
I really like Pittsburgh's wide receiving core, and I don't really. I know Joe Judge he has like a tweet come out about him every single day about something cool that he did. Like they were gassing him up over a practice squad. He released a practice squad player, and then he said, "I'm releasing you so you can go be with your family," because he just had a newborn, and then he's gonna like sign him back. It was so weird. I don't know. They just keep on gassing up Joe Judge, and all he is just a special teams coordinator. He's gonna it's gonna mostly be the offensive and defensive coordinators that are gonna be making the calls. I don't like who's on that defense that will tell you like, oh wow, I'm scared.
The Giants defense?
Yeah, the Giants defense.
And then the shit that came out with DeAndre Baker.
It's true.
The stuff with DeAndre Baker, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like that's more of a detriment to took more away from the offense or the offseason of the Giants than Joe Judge diving on a football on a rainy day.
It's big for morale. Big for team morale. So who you
win and cover?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't buy these off-season hype stories. So you're taking New York Giants to win?
Me?
Well,
You took
yeah,
the Steelers to win and cover. I took the Giants to win, but to not cover.
No, Pittsburgh was favored.
Yeah. I meant the Steelers to win, but not cover.
Oh, okay. All right. Last game of the night. It is the Tennessee Titans versus the Denver Broncos. Titans are favored by 1.5. I don't know if these are updated odds because of the Von Miller injury, which I feel like that would play a massive part considering that this game is going to be won in the trenches, at least from Tennessee's offensive point of view. I mean, for me, I think it's going to be in Mile High City. That Denver is the one place that you can count on there actually being a home field advantage because of the atmosphere. And I think Drew Lock is going to have a breakout performance. I think he's going to be really good with Jerry Jeudy. He could have 100-yard game, and you just get a ton of hype, and then they end up flaming out for 8-8, 7-9. So I feel like I've seen this story a lot, and it's going to happen with Denver, and that's why I'm going to take them plus 1.5.
I'm surprised you mentioned Jerry Jeudy instead of Cortland Sutton, just because Sutton's kind of the more established guy.
Yeah, Sutton's a little bit slower than Jeudy, and I mean we saw Drew Lock with Sutton last year. It was solid. What?
You just saying for the flashiness?
Yeah. For like I'm doing this purely off of what's going to get enough hype for the Broncos, and Jeudy having a big game instead of Sutton is going to get an insane amount of hype. So,
what game?
It's the Titans versus Broncos. The Titans are favored by 1.5.
Titans.
I have the Titans winning and covering. I think it'll be relatively close into the third quarter, but coming into the fourth, I think the Titans are going to kind of separate themselves. You know, I like Denver. I think they're going to be a better team than what most people probably think. I think they could be like a 9-7 kind of team. I know it's the blow to Von Miller kind of hurts, but he's kind of already getting up there in age, so we're not really sure what
he was reportedly he was looking like an absolute beast, but that was only after all of the that was only after all the injury or not concerns, but injury news came out. So it could have just been like, oh wow, really lost our shot on that. Could just be a lot of agent speak.
Yeah, this Broncos offense, they could be something really, really good, or they could be, it just kind of depends a lot on Drew Lock. So I think there's a kind of a question mark on that. And the Titans, we kind of know what we're going to be getting. We're going to get a kind of a ground and pound kind of team who has a solidified running back who's really, really good. So I have the Titans winning and covering pretty handedly.
I'm gonna look up Derrick Henry's game log because I think he's one of those guys that gets better throughout the season because guys just keep on. Okay, so yeah, he actually does get better as the season goes on. He gets substantially better. So his first 4 games, they were 84, 82, 44, 100. He doesn't touch 100 again until week 10, and then he hits 4 straight 100-yard games, and then goes off for 211 in the final game. I think he's clearly a guy who thrives on teams being tired week to week, but that doesn't bode well for the first week, and he's kind of the key to the Titans winning.
Did he sign an extension this offseason, or was it just the franchise tag?
I think he signed an extension, so I don't think that's gonna play a big factor with him. I think he's gonna do whatever he does, money or not. What do you think, Brenden? Before
I
you
think
take a
the
bite.
Titans are gonna win, but I don't think Derrick Henry is going to light it up necessarily. But I think the Titans will win still.
I think the Titans have.
I think the Broncos are too young. I mean, everyone, Noah Fant, Drew Lock, Cortland Sutton,
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy, they're all extremely young. I mean, they could be good. Who knows? I'm not sold on Drew Lock at all. But
did they
their
fire
defense,
Vic Fangio?
Von Miller. What?
Did they fire Vic Fangio? I don't think they did. Which that's like kind of a concern. I feel like we would have already heard about like whether he's been fired. Yep, he's still the head coach. So
Pat Shurmur.
wait, Pat Shurmur's their offensive coordinator?
Yep. Yeah. It's going to be a lot to be left up to what Locke can be. I think Locke's going to kind of derive with the Broncos are going to be as a whole.
Yeah. So Brenden, you're taking who?
Tennessee.
To win and cover? It's 1.5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tennessee's favored by 1.5. So if they cover, they win. All right. Well, those were all the games that we covered. I think there's a lot of room for improvement that we can have. I think
we want to just something stupid and fun. Do we want to have a guarantee? We guarantee a team to win, but if we pick this team this week, we can't pick them for the rest of the season. Like I'm saying, like if you pick a team this week, so I say I think the Pats are guaranteed to win. I can't pick them for the rest of the season. And then next week we'll do the same thing.
Okay.
We have more and more teams, but we can't guarantee to win.
Okay. All right. So
I'll take the Bills.
You're taking the Bills. Since they're not going to get a lot of wins this season, I'll go ahead and take Carolina +3. So my team this week is going to be Carolina.
Yeah, but if you picked it, then you're dead.
Are we picking?
That's how it typically works, but I guess we're just.
Are we guaranteeing against the spread or guaranteeing straight up?
Guaranteeing.
Straight up for the guaranteed win.
Yeah, straight up.
Straight up. I will guarantee the Raiders.
All right, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and back out of that Carolina. I think I misinterpreted everything. I'll guarantee Detroit. Now, this is going to be the surest that I ever feel in Detroit. So,
yeah.
All right. So, now that we have everything, like I said, I think there's a lot of room for improvement. We might be having a different. I think Riley's going to be a mainstay. I think we can rotate in between Brenden and Nicholas.
I mean, I know more about football, so I think I'd be a better option.
Yeah, but you've been eating this whole time, and you've been in and out of the room. You weren't necessarily a great trio partner.
Yeah, but whenever we look at these picks, we're gonna see who had the most right picks, and we'll be like, oh.
I mean, you can still make your picks. You don't have to be on the weekly podcast to know. So, but yeah, hopefully everybody out there is staying safe. To the 5 people that are watching on YouTube, even if there are that many people, maybe we can just like boost up those numbers. But yep, I think this was a great start to the Chippers Podcast Network. I think
it's special.
Yep, I think this is the beginning of something really, really special. As Brenden keeps on eating. Yep.
Yeah,
all right, one bite. Everybody knows it was. We got the California barbecue chicken.
I think
it's a 6.3.
I think this might be Brennan's last week, first and last.
Yeah, he might be a one-hit wonder. We could just bring him on to talk about the Eagles and then kick him out of the call.
Consider you then if you didn't make any right picks.
It'll be a podcast meeting.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching, everybody, and happy football. All right.